Hello, Soul Tribers. I pray you're doing well. Sending you the purest of love and light. God is for us. Who can be against us? We're blessed, we're safe, we're anchored, and we're heavily protected. So, if you are in the States, happy Thanksgiving. And for those of you who are not, every day, you already know every day is a day of Thanksgiving. And we have so much to give God thanks for. So much. And for those of you, those of us who this Thanksgiving is a little bit sadder because you're missing a loved one, this time of the year it's even, more sadder, if that's a word, for a lot of us. I love fall because yes, it's the birthday season, but then for me it's like 3 days after Thanksgiving, which this year it falls on a different date, but it's like on the 28th, 3 days after my mom passed away, and like a week before Christmas she was buried. So it's like one after the other. And also for me this year, I think I mentioned to you as well last year when it happened. My client passed away at the end of the year, going to the end of the year as well. So it's rough. It's the happiest time of the year for a lot of people, and it still is happy, but those memories, especially when you lose people who are genuine, caring, for a lot of you, a lot of us, those brutish ones, they are the ones that are behind, but sending you love and light. And if you, for whatever obligation you have, where you must go around those, even though you know that your values are not aligned, they are not with you, just protect your energy. Protect what you eat, protect what you're drinking. Just leave the arguments alone because it's energy harvesting season as well. So some people can't wait to see you so they can start. So just be mindful of that as well as you move about. Yes, I have a lot. I thank God. I thank God so much. I thank God for just being God in my life and over my life. My spirit team, I thank God for health, for strength. For those of you who have been leaving me comments or saying I haven't, you didn't hear from me or see any videos in a long time. I was sick, Soul Travers. Actually, for my birthday, I was in the hospital. And yes, that's where I celebrated my birthday this year. But in spite of everything, like the Bible says, to give God thanks, is like while I was there, they gave me a balloon. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for God. I'm thankful for His provision. They even brought me a cake. See, it's like where even our own, where there is nobody, no blood, nobody, God provides. And it reminds me of Elijah in the Bible. When he didn't have any food, God sent the raven with bread to feed him. So God takes care of His own. And so, for those of you who have family members who are genuine, friends who are really there for you, it's like hold them a little closer. Uh, just appreciate them a little bit more. Not everybody have karmics or was raise or live around people who are cold. So yes, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, so many things. And even there, it was for most of the time there, because I was there for quite a while, as you have seen. And as soon as I could, when I came home, I posted a video. And it's almost as if while I was down, it's like I got this urge to look at my YouTube account. And for whatever reason, I press and I look where the money part was. And like I always tell you guys, I mentioned it in the past that, and I know it's an inside job, and I've mentioned it. It's like the little bit that was there, it wasn't much, it was like a little over 400. And again, the next day when I looked in the account, it switched over to 200 and something dollars. I know that somebody's been playing with my money, because like I said, when the views go up, it's like the money go down, and when the views go down, it go up a little bit. And for that reason, since I've been back and posting, I've turned off the monetization, because there is no way, I cannot afford to work for somebody else. Can you imagine coming out of the hospital, seeing that? Is like somebody, I knew too that the enemy wanted to break my heart, but I also looked at the positive side of it, as God was giving me the confirmation. What I thought all along, for whatever reason, it slipped. It's almost as if when somebody catch up and realize that it wasn't, like, oh my goodness, it's like it was overlooked, and then they quickly, lowered it to make it seem as if that's what it is. So no, my monetization is off. Again, I didn't come here looking for fame or fortune, but working hard. I mean, I've been here, I've had over 2,000, I think 2,200 videos. So if I was able to make something where, I have to put battery in my little lamp over here. For those who make content, it takes time to do this, and then, to have that done to you is like, no. Again, I didn't come here for that, but I can't I refuse to deal with the disrespect, and I really don't have the time to be, back and forth with whatever, basically investigating what happened. No, I'm not gonna do that, when especially when, my health, it comes first. And then they're gonna say, oh, what's the proof, can you show us? I don't have time for that. So it's like, for my peace, I prefer to turn it off. And should anyone want to donate to the platform, or what, you could send it. I put my email, my collections24 at yahoo.com, in the description box below. That's, PayPal. They will notify me as well. But I can't, I refuse to put myself through that, because for whatever reason, somebody's taking it, whether they think it's for fun or not. And this didn't just happen this year. It's been going on. I've been here now for a little bit over 3 years, and it's been going on for at least 2 of the 3 years. And so no, enough is enough. But it's been this year. If a lot of us were to look back, like the snake, this year for me, I've seen so many revealed. so many truths, so many snakes, the been exposed. And also on the positive end, like Jesus taught us to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. This year has also taught me to, yes, to think strategic and savvy so that I don't continue to be bamboozled. Because and for you probably it's the same, because all along we were taught to just be meek and lowly, be the dove alone. But we can't survive in this world just being the dove alone. We will be eaten up. We have to learn to think outside the box. Not that we're going to get down to their level and be like them, but at the same time be able to recognize when people are trying to run games on us. I mean, I have story for days, because even while I was there, the devil showed up as well in the form of a nurse. It's like you just have to, it's like, and I hinted to it a little bit in one of my video before, that a lot of the things that these evildoers have been doing, a lot of them had unsubscribed while I was away, because I guess they probably didn't want, if anything happened, there it was traced to them that they were here, but they're slowly creeping back. And I know that they're here. But like I said before in a video, I am not worrying about my enemies and their karma, because I know that God will take care of them. Because for what I've gone through, a lot of it had to do with the things and the spiritual warfare that I went through. Because it's like things just escalated where it became like an emergency situation. And like how God woke up Joseph and Mary in the middle of the night and say, move here, go there, do this. It's like God just completely turned everything around, because like I said, I'm in an environment at the moment where I am heavily stalked and watched. They even have the police on their side. I mean, when he's ready, they come, they park across from me and sit, like they're trying to intimidate. Little do they know, but yes. So these people is like, whatever it is, wherever they have tracking, they find where I go, and whatever it is, they're able to bribe people to turn against me and work on their side. And so it's like God, directed my path. And this is why again, I don't know, maybe this message is not for everybody today, but it's for somebody. You are not alone. And I share my stories with you, not because I have to, but I want you to know that you're not the only ones who are out there going through things. And so you can hear my testimony and the things that I've gone through, and hopefully it will encourage you to keep going. When I tell you that Jesus is a deliverer, he's my deliverer, always showing up and showing out, just move here, move there, don't do this, don't do that. And that is why I'm here today. Because as soon as the enemies caught on to where I was, it's like while I was there, I remember the Wednesday, this male nurse, I mean, it's like I could just see the devil in him as he came to the door. He wasn't standing straight, he just kind of peeped in the room. And he's like, who is your nurse? But I thought he was trying to do something for me. And I told him, And I believe later on I said to the nurse, a guy was asking for you. Did you see him? She said, no, I didn't see anybody. So I said, okay. Then is like lo and behold, 3 days in a row, like from the Friday to the Sunday, he was my nurse. And let me tell you, this boy was sent to unalive me. I can't make it up, soul tribers, because I was on certain medications there in the hospital, certain drips. And I remember like the first day he came, I don't need to smell any more pine. Just like I said, I keep sending these low vibrational masculines. And it's like I was just there. It's like God shut me up, and I was just I mean, I didn't watch any TV all this time I was there. I was just staring at the wall. And I remember the Saturday, he's like, oh, since I've been here with you, we haven't really gotten to talk or, to bond a little bit. And I'm like, I didn't answer, but I'm thinking, bond, talk, what, it's like, because again, it's like in my spirit. You have to energy does not lie, it doesn't lie. And when one of the bag the medication was finished and I called, he came, then he disappeared. It was like an hour later I called, and he's like, oh, my colleague should have done it, but I guess they didn't. I just came back from lunch. And then he came back with this bag, and he's like, he just ripped it and hung it up. I said, aren't you supposed to get another nurse to check with that? Oh, I already did with the charge nurse at the front. I said, yeah, but normally they would scan the medication with my bracelet to, and with the medication to make sure it's compatible. Oh, it's okay. Let me tell you, that night, going into about 4 o'clock Sunday morning, the night shift, again, it was another male. The day one is a black guy, the night one is a white guy. Young lad, he came in about, it was like almost 4 o'clock. And he's like, oh, your blood work came back. We need to give you an additional dose. Because it's like this guy, wherever he got this medicine, because like I say, in these cults and these associations, they have people everywhere you go. And there is somebody willing and ready to do their dirty work because they're so desperate for money. And again, they thought I was an easy mark. So, I kind of, it's like suddenly the sleep left my eyes, and I sat up in the bed and I said to the guy, where you get that from? I've never had to get, additional, and this time it's not from the bag, but them using, pulling up in the syringe and injecting it in the IV tubing. And I said, where you get that from? And I said, did you talk to the charge nurse? He said, yeah, let me go get her, but we did talk about it. And she came, a black lady, and she read over the protocol and everything. And I knew if I didn't take it what the ramifications were, so I took it. Then Sunday morning, the devil came back. My phone just vibrated. The devil came back the Sunday morning. And it's like he was looking at the bag, because it's the same bag that he hung from Saturday evening before he left was there. It's like, oh, I just wanna, just wondering when it's going to finish. It's like, I don't know what was in the bag, if it was just water, but whatever it is, it was meant to interfere with my therapeutic numbers. And let me tell you that, so the night nurse is gone. Sunday, when the bag finally finished on Sunday, with the devil that I was dealing with, he went and got the bag right away, which I knew from my experience that medication is kept in the Pyxis in the medicine room. You didn't have to wait for pharmacy to send you a bag like he did the day before. Now, when he came this time, he brought a nurse with him to co-sign, and he scanned my bracelet. I said, how comes you didn't scan it yesterday? And I said, remember yesterday I asked you, did you run it by the nurse? Because the nurse should have really been in the room with him when he was doing this. So when he came back, Soul Tribers, the nurse came in with him and they checked it and everything. So he left. Then when they did my blood work again on the same shift, again I couldn't wait to get my numbers. And this is why I said, like, God is so good. I like, I took a nap, and then it's like I was suddenly waking up, and I look at the pump and I realized the numbers had changed as to how much I should be getting per hour. And I called, pressed the call button. When he came in the room, I said, what was my lab? He told me, and he says, oh, based on the numbers, they said we need to drop it by 3. We need to go down by 3. And I said, yeah, but what was there? For example, what was there was like 15. If you subtract 3 from 15, it leaves 12. How we reach 10? The maths is not, it's not adding up. You talk about the math isn't mathing. And he left, he walked out of the room. So I called the charge nurse. It was like this Filipino young lady. I called her and she came to the room, and I said, you guys need to fix this because this is not right. So she fixed it. She went ahead. When I told her what it was, then she told me that he came to her and told her that the night nurse set the number to be at like 15, but he didn't see any notes from the night nurse to justify why it was at 15. He thinks that it is 13. So when the lab sent back the numbers, he took the 3 from 13 and put me down to 10. Do you see that? Oh, I was livid. I mean, you could stay like, I don't know, maybe you heard me, but you didn't know it was me from where you're living, okay? I was, oh, I mean, I said to her, I said, you are the charge nurse, and you're supposed to have certain, knowledge or a little bit more wisdom, discernment over the people that you're managing. And he came to you with that cockamamie story, and you took his word for it. I said, did you go and look at the night nurse notes? She said no. She was changing back the pump to put it back to like the correct number where it should be. I said, no, no, no. Let him fix it. It's his mistake, or whatever he intended it to do. I mean, I I mean, I looked at him. I said, I don't know who sent you, but I said, I know God sent me. And darkness will never overcome the light. But do you know, like about a week after I left the hospital, I went for my follow up. While I was sitting there, because I could see right through the doorway, and then you have the step, and then right at the doorway, Soul Tribers, the same guy. So this is why I said that whatever tracking they have, I don't know. These people are so desperate for what only God Himself knows. Because if it was for energy, really? I mean, I don't, it's like it doesn't even make sense. This narcissist is supposed to have a license to protect. And the moment he ran up, because as soon as you come up the stairs, you land in front of the doorway. And I saw him with his earring in, which he wore that in the hospital. He was wearing like this plaid hat looking thing, the shorts, looking like Jingle Bell. Then when he saw me, he just turned back and went right back down the steps. I don't know what they're gathering, what they think they're after. Because anything they think they're after, they're not gonna get it. And I know some of them, they're watching my videos today. And this is why I tell you, God is good, not sometimes, but all the time. I don't know people who don't have that relationship with him, what they do, but I can tell you that God is awesome. And I just really hope and pray that, as you move throughout your day or, your week, the rest of the year, that you just give God thanks. Because He really is, and our spiritual team, our angels, our spiritual family, protecting us from danger seen and unseen. Like I said, in this community, it's like a hunger game. People are hungry. They love to trigger, they love to spy. Like I told you before, my family, they get neighbors. If I go out, the neighbor is coming down the street so that she can see in my car. Like if I'm coming home with somebody, it's like while she's scantily clad, it's like these Jezebel spirits, because they're hungry for money. They're out for blood and they want energy. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the people that like I said, even in the hospital. And this is what bothers me, because I'm like, what about the people who don't have the knowledge or the withdrawal to ask questions? And it bothers me, because I'm like, all it takes is one time. It's like my numbers were perfectly fine until he showed up, and it was not coincidental. It's like he scoped me out from that Wednesday when he asked me who is my nurse, and the Monday when the female nurse came back, she ended up having me as a patient. And it's like she was not happy to see me. Whatever the plan is like she was not happy. Because it's like when they were giving report and I look, it's like she was pretending as if like she never seen me before. When the other nurses were giving a report and I looked at her, I said, I know you. You were my nurse before. I guess I was. And then I had to call her throughout the day for my medication, and she was giving me attitude. I said, look, it seems as if you're not happy to see me, but I said nobody can mess with God's plan. If you don't want me to be your patient, please tell the charge nurse to give me to somebody else. And the charge nurse came to my room. I said I don't have a problem with her, but she seemed to have one with me. But if she doesn't want me, because again, I question everything they're giving me, and you should do the same thing. But it's like you could tell the change in her attitude for the rest of the, again, from the time she came in, it's like she wasn't expecting to see me. And it's the same vibes I get from the devil when he came to work the Sunday morning. Is like I wasn't supposed to be alive based on what he did the day before. And like I said, I was there for a while before I guess they found out where I was. And that's when they came in, because like I said, they're out for blood. I have some thirsty, thirsty demons on my trail. But let me tell you, if God is for us, who can be against us? Who can be against us, Soul Tribers? So I just want to share this message with you on this day. Whenever you get it, it's timeless. But again, just to know that you're not alone. And for my one sister who said she too was going through some storm, but just know that not every storm come to unalive us. Some storms come to clear our path. And again, if it wasn't for a lot of the things that I've gone through in my life, maybe I wouldn't be up on my game. Maybe I wouldn't be so, like curious, ask questions and stuff like that. But it's like I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm not afraid. I made a complaint to the charge nurse. I made, she had to call the doctor to let the doctor know. Because I'm like, if somebody come to tell you that he doesn't think my numbers should be where they are, then you should call the doctor and said, can we, do a stat or an emergency lab draw just to double check that Jesus. So you don't take another person's name for it, because the devil, that male nurse, he knew what he was doing, and this is why he got the charge nurse to be on his side, to buy his story, making the night nurse look bad, to make it seem as if he increased my numbers, for my medicine, when it wasn't justified. And she fell for it. And I looked at her. I said, you are a narcissist chewing gum." And he was in the room. I said, and I told him, I said, "You are a narcissist." He came in the room. "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "No, you're not." I said, "You're just sorry you got caught." I told him, I said, "Don't come for me if I didn't send for you." Lord, I said, "You should be lucky that I'm on the other side today. I'm in the bed, I'm on the other side, because it probably would be different." I said, "Don't you dare." And like I said, he still didn't learn. A week later, they sent him to follow me. And he still did it. This is how hungry these people are and desperate for money. Or they thought that, oh, he's tall, and oh, he's wearing all of these costume jewelry, that I'm going to somehow, fall for him. Because again, they all want energy. They think I'm going to entertain that. I'm telling you, these people, their life is long, but they're careless with it. And they're playing with it. As soon as he came up the step, and I was looking right through the door, and he saw me, I saw him, he ran right back down the stairway. God is for us. It's like Elijah. I think there are certain, and it's even hard me saying this, there are certain things that all of us have to bear. And it reminds me of like Elijah and Jezebel. She was a powerful witch, an evil person. And, when that was his fate, his destiny, to take her down, to expose her for the evil that she is. And for a while, he thought that he was the only one that was righteous, because it's like he was alone facing the devil as she was pursuing every Christians to take them down. And he got scared and he ran. But it's like God took care of him and he finished his job. He finished his job that he had to do. And this is why sometimes there are certain things that, even if I encourage and inspire you, there are certain things, all of us, we have to face that thing in our life. And I'm not running away from my enemies, my demons. Whatever force of darkness that is placed in front of me in this lifetime, I don't know how many I had, but let me tell you, these energies really felt as if I've seen them before. We had an encounter before. But this time, I am not moving until God says to move. I am not afraid. And this is why I said in another message video before, we have to be careful how we want to be like other people and we want to take their life, or we want to copycat and plagiarize and imitate them. Be careful, because you don't know what mantle, what charge is placed on their life. All the things that I've gone through, I said it before, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I would not. And it's the same when you see God is blessing me or blessing another person. You don't know the backstory. You don't know the backstory. Thank God for what you have and what you have going on in your life. And like Job, wait until your change come. Be thankful, because somebody else has it worse than you. For me, this round was very hard, very trying, especially with nobody, no physical support. God took care of me, and He's taking care of me. And these are the things that is like it. When you come through these things, it makes you stronger. It is like it's this force that it lights, it ignites this passion. When you go through these things in life. And it's like when I think, or when you may think you can't do something, and God is saying, yes, you can. Yes, you can do it. Little by little, you can do it. And let me tell you, when God turned the ship around, when God turns your ship around, soul tribers, nobody will be able to take credit. Nobody will be able to say, I was there when you were this and that. Nobody. Nobody but God. And your spiritual team. Let me tell you. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. It's not over until we win. It's not over until you win. And for what it's worth, because I had my cards here in front of me, but it talks about the 9 of Wands. I protect my energy, stand resilient, knowing I am close to my goal. So whatever it is that you're going through, is like God says, I know that you've been through it. You're this wounded warrior. Sometimes you feel like giving up. And like I said before, you're going out there, and for whatever reasons, you're obligated to be around people who you know they don't like you. but protect your energy. Don't get into arguments with people because they want to see you riled up. You learn the lesson. Stand resilient. The darkest part of the night is right there before dawn. You're close to your goal. See the devil, I break free from limiting beliefs and reclaim my sovereignty over my choices. So it's like the devil is in the details. And I didn't even see that second card yet. But like I said, and the devil talk about kicking you when you're down. You have those. And the tower. As the old crumbles, I rise, rebuilding on sure ground. So, for a lot of you, a lot of us, again, the old foundation must fall. The old way of thinking must die, fall off. I was reading this thing, I don't remember her name, but she's a black lady and entrepreneur and everything. It's not Adish. But she recently, I guess, she had co-partner with somebody in LA with a restaurant, and initially, it's like she said she felt as if that location wasn't good, and then the roof started to crumbling. She didn't like that because her name was attached to it and her reputation mattered to her. And so eventually she decided to walk away, but she said the lessons that she learned, because she was hiring, like, people who would come to the area, but they were aspiring actress and actors, so they would have a job. And on camera they would see a lot of these people were creating falls so that they could sue them. But thank God the camera was able to catch them. She also said she hired family, and she realized that was a bad idea. You can't take people with you, and it's not their fault. They're not ready for that. You can't bring people where they're not ready for. And so, I guess they went over budget trying to hire these people and all of that. But it's the takeaway. And she said she lost a lot of friends, but she really didn't lose them. It's like people showed their true colors. And so it is with the tower. When the tower comes, I love when the tower falls. Because when the tower falls, everything is out in the open. And it's like, when, like, around the holiday time, people may pretend as if they're drunk and try to say some mean and disrespectful things to you. They're not drunk, they're just plain fool. And so with one little argument, you'll be able to hear how somebody feel about you. So the foundations that were not built or anything, God is pushing it down. So remember, endings bring new beginnings. And like the card says, as the old crumbles, you will rise, rebuilding on truer, stronger foundation. So everything is blown apart. You break free from the devil and the people and everything that was attached to the devil, who was trying to cause obstacles in your life. The Empress, man or woman. I create with love, nurture generously, and thrive in abundance. And this is why the enemy wants your energy. They don't want to do the work. Can you imagine the amount of money people waste? Even in my case, to get, to have people watching, spying, or doing witchcraft and all of these things. Can you imagine if they were working on themselves? If they sent themselves to school, if they learned a skill? Can you imagine how they themselves would be able to thrive and be abundant. And this is where they went wrong, coming for a divine being. Touch not my anointed, God says, and do my prophets no harm. See, these people with the 5 of Swords, they want to win at all cost. It's like, don't give anybody the upper hand. Because it's like, you see how they're laughing with the 5 of Pentacles. People want to see you left out in the cold, but it says, I am worthy of love and support. Brighter, loving days are near. Brighter, loving days are near for you. So, whatever it is that they were planning, breaking the deck is the strength. My inner strength and compassion guide me through every challenge with grace. Your enemies will have to admire you because of everything that you went through, and you're still here. Again, you don't look like what you have been through. And like with the strength card is taming the beast. People think that some of them, they'll think that the old you, they can still use those same old tactics on you. Because again, the devil doesn't have anything new. And this is why even with you, whatever it is that you're doing and you're going around people, eat before you leave your house. So by the time you get there, you're full. You can only take a little bit. Don't be trusting people to make a plate for you. Not just now, but just even throughout your life, the rest of your life, especially when you know who you are and whose you are and how desperate the enemy. Because again, if the enemy, if people, it and again, not everybody will do that. But it's like even some people are in your life who said that they're loyal. If somebody approached them with the right amount of money, they will switch upon you. They will turn against you. So it's like you can't even swear for people. You have to let people show you who they are. So you don't just let your guards down around anybody. Because you just never know. You just never know. So for a lot of you, you have already tamed the beast within you. Again, breaking the deck, 10 of Swords. I rise from my darkest moment stronger and wiser, embracing a new dawn. So when people think that you should be out, down and out, and a lot of these people, like I said, the enemy is busy at this time of the year. They're out for blood. They're out for blood. Be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. This is the year of the snake. And as we are fastly approaching the end of the year, be wise as the snake. You don't have to go around, I'm wise. No. But it's like you watch them. Pay attention to details. The more you see, the less you talk. And the less you talk, the more you will see. Like I was sitting in that hospital room on that bed just staring at the wall. That devil thought, oh, she's gone. He thought he could just, with him, he was like, oh, you're not saying anything. Are you sad? Are you, like he thinks. So he thought. And this is what I'm saying. God send us in these positions and places as baits where you're innocent, you're calm, and you blow the cover of these snakes. wide open. Happy soul, happy Thanksgiving, soul tribers. Again, wherever you are, just know that you're loved, you're safe, and you're protected. And our spiritual team, they're protecting us. Nonetheless, we need to do what we need to do on this end to protect ourselves. Be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Until next time, take care and be blessed.